you do get to the website, you'll see there are a few different options. One is you can change the language. You can log in. One thing to note is if you did have a login before from last year, that will no longer work, and you would need to create a new one. So before you get started, you want to make sure that it applies to you. So there are specific service countries that are onboarded to Nusuk. So you want to click on the serviced countries to make sure that your country is one of them. So for example, if you're from the United States of America, Nusuk would apply to you. In addition, on the top in the journey, they have given a summary of the Hajj process as well. Inshallah, we will cover the Hajj process in more detail. We did a session last year, which is pretty detailed on the logistics and the spiritual aspects of it. And the link to that video is in the description below. Inshallah, we will do some more this year as well. And then if you click on registration assistance, it basically takes you to an FAQ page. You have questions here about the platform, how to register, how to add family members, packages. You can kind of see here. And then basically, as you can see on the top as well, service providers and packages and Hajj guidelines are not yet released, but they have listed as soon. So let's go back to the main page. And what we will do is start registration. The first thing you will do is select your country of residence. I'll select United States of America. Confirm this is my country of residence. I have a consent to the privacy policy. Read the terms and conditions and privacy policy. Go subscribe for any email updates. You can do that. You then also select that I'm a robot. Yeah, we want to go ahead and enter your email address and then click create an account. So now you'll get a verification email. We'll ask you to enter your password. If you have entered the password, you would create an account. You get the message, the account was successfully created. Please log in to finalize the registration process. Okay, ask you to log in again. Then you would get another verification code. As you get to the uploading guide, be sure to review the guidelines. So you're going to click proceed. So note here that you want to make sure that the photo that or your passport image that you're going to upload is either PNG or JPEG. Dimensions would be a maximum of 800 by 400 pixels, and the file size has now been upgraded to 1 megabytes. Please make sure the main page of your passport is clearly visible. So it's good that we have a instruction here. Second, it also wants you to upload your personal photograph, again, PNG or JPEG, and the maximum of 200 by 200 pixels. File size is pretty small with 18 kilobytes. Background should be white, and you must be wearing formal attire. Photo must be consistent with passport image guidelines. Again, you want to have your proof of residence, so you'll upload that as well. So it's accepted format, dimensions, file size. Again, if you wanted to go back, you can kind of see the details here. So what we need now is a passport and a personal photo. So if you already have an image of your passport, your personal photograph, your proof of residence, you want to basically try and make sure that it matches the requirements, which is the dimension should be 800 by 400 pixels and the file size should be less than 1 megabytes. If you are using Windows, you can open up the image in Paint, and here you can see that the sample image that I have The resolution is 1685 to 1137 pixels. So now, as I can see, you can see that it has to be less than, it has to be basically between 400 by 800 pixels, and it has to be less than a 1 megabytes. Now, my pixel size for this photograph is pretty high. The size of the image itself is less than 1 megabytes, which is good. But then what we need to do is change the resolution so that it can fit the requirements. And in order to do that, basically what you would do is you're going to open it up in Paint, or you can also do it on some websites. You can look for some image editors, depending on if it's on Windows, you can open it up in Windows in Paint. So I have got my image opened. I'm going to hit Resize. When you hit Resize, you can now change it where you can either do it by percentage or by pixels. So I'm going to do pixels. I want to keep the aspect ratio. So I want to be able to do that. And then let's change where my horizontal is 800. So the vertical, as you can see, is still more than 400. And again, we want to maintain the aspect ratio so it doesn't get messed up. So I want to go lower than that. So let me try to make this 400. And now you can see when I'm doing it for 400 vertical, the horizontal is actually 592, which is what I would like. And now with this change, the size of my image has changed. Again, you want to basically change your the size of the pixels, and this should help get your photograph in the right size as well. But let's say if you do have still larger, then you can also resize further by percentage to try and reduce it to get to a point where it works. So in this case now it works in both cases. I have the resolution also is fine and the size is fine as well. So you can go ahead and save. And then use your edited image. If you do still have issues with your website is not allowing it and asking you to be smaller size, make sure to verify that the size is correct. And as you can see, when I reduce the pixel count, the size reduced even further. So again, depending on the quality of your scan, it might be higher. So for personal photographs, it is supposed to be even smaller. So when you are looking at your personal photograph, you want to reduce this size even further. You want to basically get it to 200 by 200, and the size would need to be really small, which is 18 kilobytes. If you still have issues, reduce the percentage a little bit more to try to get to a point. But again, keep your aspect ratio so that it doesn't get messed up. So now that we have edited our file, now that we have edited the image file, it's now time to upload. Now that these are uploaded, let's go ahead and click next. You're going to enter your first name, your last name. Again, notice the fields that are mandatory. Make sure it matches your passport, your nationality, your date of birth, birthplace, gender, passport type, your passport number, where it was issued, what's the date it was issued, when it's going to expire, and then on the bottom, you're going to consent to use the provided data for facilitating the Hajj journey, and confirm that the accuracy of the details. Submit. Provide your contact information, social status, which includes single, married, divorced, widow, or other, emergency contact information. Interesting is they have street address and home address separated, and both are required. And what's the nearest embassy to you? If Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Washington. When do you expect to enter Again, this is probably not going to be finalized until later. But this year, Hajj is the 8th of Zulhijjah, around June 14th. Again, depending on your package, it might be Medina first, Makkah first, so I don't quite know yet when would it be, but we can probably do end of May, early June. I'm going to just say like end of May for now. So about 20, let's do 21 days. We don't know yet. Most likely it's going to be by air. Never mind. It doesn't say it's required, but it is mandatory. I'm going to say TBD. Have you had a previous visa? Enter if you've had visa before. Does your passport have any restrictions or conditions valid for one trip? So make sure to either provide description if there are any details about if there are any restrictions on your passports that limits the trip. Do you have any relatives in Saudi Arabia? Have you ever traveled to other countries in the past year? So again, next. Have you been deported, including Saudi Arabia? Have you ever served in the armed forces? Do you have any accessibility requirements? Do you have any health conditions? Do you have diabetes, high blood pressure? Anything you can mention here? Do you have dietary preferences? So you can mention those, food allergies. So then it's going to provide you that summary. Make sure to review all the information that is present here. Provide your consent, acknowledge that by registering, to understand that the approval is still tentative. You still have to purchase packages, and you will provide the original certificate of packages of vaccinations when needed, and you review the terms and conditions. Make sure to review these. If you have additional family members that will be traveling with you, you could add them here. Go ahead and submit. So now the application was submitted successfully. Now it's in the review process. So once the review is completed, they will reach back, they will reply back, and they will provide updates on if any additional information is needed. Also, now that you have registered, you should get an email saying your registration is successful, it's complete. They are verifying the information and notify it's done. Now we wait until the verification is completed. But that was it for today. Hopefully everybody is able to get through with this, and let us know in the comments below if you would like any additional information. Inshallah, we will do more videos in the future months as we start getting more information on packages, service providers like last year. Inshallah, we also do some more logistics and spiritual information as well. Assalamu alaikum.